Head out late to any events later on this evening. We do have a few rain showers working across the area, but they're very light. Along 81 right near Whitville, a lot of this activity drifting in more of an easterly fashion. Even near the state line, North Carolina state line, seeing that light shower activity coming down as the light, and even on the sprinkle side of things too, right near Stewart, again drifting in an easterly fashion. And this is all due in part by an area low pressure that's situated right near Tennessee, and it's going to continue to track to the east southeast. Notice the bulk of the shower activity is drifted off towards the eastern seaboard. We do have a few more showers that'll be skirting across, especially the state line as we progress into these early evening hours, and then a lot of it does fade away as we progress into tonight. So notice by the 8 o'clock hour, a lot of the activity winds down. We do still have the clouds around. We'll see the clouds start to fade away from north to south actually as high pressure starts to build back into the area. Notice by about 11 o'clock that shower activity still off to our south, but most of us clearing things out. So clearing sky conditions tonight thanks to that high pressure. So by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, you're definitely going to want that heavier jacket. We're looking at overnight lows or startup temperatures right near that freezing mark. And by the time we progress into the afternoon hours, yes, we'll have a good amount of sunshine, but temperature-wise, considerably cooler, especially if you compare it to these past couple of days. Afternoon temperatures are expected to be in the mid to upper 40s. And then we do have some more changes on the way for Friday. We're actually watching a system that is right now building out towards the central plains, and that is going to track our way and bring us a chance for some precipitation come Friday. And that's looking more towards a Friday evening. So right now we're looking at clearing sky conditions as we progress into the overnight hours. Temperatures do fall right near that freezing mark tonight. Tomorrow though, plenty of sunshine on tap for us as that high pressure builds back into the area. On the cooler side of things, if you compare it, especially for today or yesterday as well, upper 40s and low 50s, 51 for Blacksburg, 48 for Roanoke. Check out Thursday. That's actually the first day of winter at 11:28 in the morning. Temperature-wise in the afternoon, we're looking at temperatures topping out right near 48 degrees. We do have a bit of warmth on the way for Friday and Saturday, so ahead of this boundary, we get a rush of warm air. We're looking at temperatures by Saturday right near 62. Best chance for precipitation after today, we're looking at Friday evening and into our day on Saturday. There may be a few lingering light snow showers for the mountains on Sunday, but we're definitely going to keep close tabs on this system because it's still a little bit unorganized at this time.
Okay, so what are the chances about that snow on Christmas we've been talking about for the past couple of days?
It's looking like lesser and lesser. Simple reason being the system is a little bit further ahead than the colder air that's lagging behind.
So we might have the moisture but not the cold, or we might have the cold but not the moisture.
Oh, we'll definitely have the cold but not the moisture.
Cold but not the moisture.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Well.
What a bummer. Oh well.
There you go. It's Christmas.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
We'll
all right.
Enjoy it.
Coming up, President Trump says that he's planning on bringing the term Merry Christmas back to the White House. What most Americans think when it comes to the so-called war on Christmas. A longtime business in downtown Roanoke will soon be closing its doors. The owner of Sam's on the Market plans to retire and close the store after almost a century of selling clothes. 10 News reporter Leslie Gooden has an exclusive look at the last days of a local institution.
Sam's has been in business for 95 years, but has been at this location for nearly 8 decades. And this week, they will be closing their doors.
These kind of places don't exist anymore, and they'll go away and we won't have them anymore.
Sam's on the Market is located on the corner of Kirk Avenue and Market Street. Here, they sell uniforms and other clothing to law enforcement and the general public. The president says that the decision to shut down was made quickly.
Just this week, they were trying to negotiate a sale, but it didn't work out. So he wants to retire.
Warren G. Harding was the president when Sam's first opened in 1922. Goldstein says that they sold close to 1 million items since then. Sam's also has its own in-house seamstress who has been here for 15 years and an embroidery area. Customers say there is nothing like the Sam's experience.
Sam's experience is having somebody that climbs a ladder to get your boots and that personal fitting they do.
The employees at Sam's are currently trying to figure out where they will work next. They say it will be hard to find one that fits like this one. Sam's is one of the few stores in the area that offers services of this kind, and customers tell me they will be missed. In Roanoke, Leslie Gooden, 10 News, working for you.
Well, in case you're not aware, Christmas is right around the corner, and more than half of Americans are expected to finish their holiday shopping today. Are you done yet?
No.
No. Okay. Well, so let's take a look. According to the National Retail Federation, 42% of shoppers still don't know what to buy their loved ones. Half of last-minute shoppers will get their gifts online, and 14% will look to small businesses.
In the Hill City, small business owners say the numbers have been great and shoppers have really been supportive.
Since I had customers this morning, they were all looking for unique gifts, and I think that that's really where brick and mortars, why we stay strong and exist, is because when you're looking for that gift to really make a connection, or for a loved one, or even for a really good friend, I think that going out and finding it is a little bit more fulfilling.
Shop owners say constantly posting products on social media and word of mouth helps small businesses around the holidays as well. While President Trump may want you to say Merry Christmas instead of Happy Holidays, a new survey suggests Americans don't care how they're greeted. According to a new Quinnipiac University poll, 76% of people believe it's only an issue made up for political purposes.
Yeah, many people also criticize the term Xmas because they believe it takes Christ out of Christmas, but it does turn out that X is the Greek letter. I want to hope to say this right. Is it Chi or Chai? I think it's Chi. Yeah,
Chi.
Which means Christ. So, all right, there you go. And here's a look at what's coming up tonight at 5:30. Halifax County leaders have several projects they're considering, which could cost tens of millions of dollars. How they're planning to pay for the improvements as they look to the future.
And this is interesting. The longest known frozen human embryo to result in a successful birth has been born in Tennessee. The story of a 24-year-old snow baby, that's tonight on 10 News at 5:30. The days In less than a week, Santa Claus will be coming to town. Once again, you'll be able to keep tabs on St. Nick as he delivers Christmas gifts by using NORAD's Santa Tracker.
Yeah, the North American Aerospace Defense Command has used satellite systems, high-powered radars, jet fighters to track his journey for more than 60 years. The website also lets you explore the North Police, listen to music, and play reindeer games. Sounds good to me. Our 90 minutes of news continues next.
Stay with us for 10 News at 5:30.
Live from WSLS, this is 10 News at 5:30, working for you.
Now at 5:30, a move in the right direction. We're taking a look at the future of Volvo trucks and what a recent deal could mean for Pulaski County down the road.
Plus, Halifax County is looking to spend millions of dollars to improve the community where that money would come from. But first,
it's the largest tax cut in the history of our country.
Celebrating a major victory, the House passes the Republican-backed tax reform bill for a second time, while lawmakers still have work to do. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Lindsay Ward.
I'm John Carlin. Republicans put the finishing touches on the first major legislative accomplishment of the year, but they can't head home just yet.
The clock is ticking down toward a Friday deadline to fund the federal government or continue congressional spending battles will shut it down. Reporter Karen Kafa has details on the pre-holiday scramble in Washington.
It's been an amazing experience, I have to tell you.
Congressional Republicans and the Trump administration touting their first major legislative success. On Wednesday afternoon, the House took the final vote on a massive tax plan. The chamber taking a second vote after the Senate had to tweak the bill to meet their rules. The Senate passed their bill on a 51-48 party line vote Wednesday.
The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act is passed.
But GOP leaders can't celebrate for too long. Congress faces a Friday deadline to keep the federal government funded and running. Democrats say a shutdown would be on the party in power.
They have the votes. They have the votes in the House, they have the Senate, and they have the White House.
One major sticking point among House and Senate Republicans appeared to be Obamacare subsidy payments. But on Wednesday, Senators Susan Collins and Lamar Alexander said they would drop a push for those payments to be included in a short-term spending bill if it means avoiding a showdown. Other thorny areas include a proposed $81 billion in disaster relief and defense spending. Not every Republican is keen on another short-term extension.
We knew last July that October 1st is the beginning of the fiscal year. And yet here we are in December, kicking the can down the road again, making no progress.
But with time tight, some debates may have to be pushed into January if Congress wants to head home for the holidays. In Washington, Karen Kafa, 10 News working for you.
Meanwhile, a number of Virginia politicians have taken to social media to share their thoughts on the tax reform bill. In a tweet, Governor Terry McAuliffe said, quote, "In rushing their tax bill through Congress, Republicans spoke very clearly they care more about their super rich donors than they do about the middle class." Senator Tim Kaine shared his thoughts, saying in his post, quote, "As Republicans pop champagne over their Christmas gift to Trump, a giant tax cut for him and his pals, families are left to wonder if their kids will have CHIP, if dreamers will be deported, and whether federal workers will be furloughed and our economy sucker punched by a government shutdown." On the other side of the aisle, Congressman Morgan Griffith simply posted, "Tax reform, good for families, good for jobs." And Congressman Bob Goodlatte said, "Next stop for the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, President Trump's desk for signature. I look forward to seeing his historic tax reform cross the finish line and deliver much needed relief to families across the country."
Halifax County supervisors looking to the future, and that future could be very expensive. Several proposed projects to improve the community could cost tens of millions of dollars. 10 News reporter Colter Anstedt's been looking into this. He spoke to county leaders and the people who would pay for these improvements.
For South Boston business owner and Halifax County native Fred Betts, a possible tax increase is not something he's ready for. He's had his health food business in South Boston for about 30 years.
It does concern me that taxes could potentially go up.
In 3 to 7 years, county supervisors could potentially address the need for renovations at Halifax County High School. Another thought is to build a new school to replace it. That's the most expensive project on the county's to-do list. Betts says he is in favor of doing whatever is cheapest.
I think the best route to take is to look forward to renovating.
County Administrator Jim Hallis says work is projected to cost between $40 and $70 million.
When you start looking at a school the size of ours and the age of ours, with the limited amount of actual work that's been done since 1979 when it was built, $40 million is probably a pretty reasonable target.
Hallis says currently to fund that project and the other proposed projects, the county's real estate tax would have to go up about 25%. Halifax County Schools Superintendent Dr. Mark Lindenberg said he isn't leaning one way or the other regarding what to do about the high school. Supervisors are also considering $1 to $10 million in renovations to the county's elementary schools, $1 million to run water lines to VIR, and $1.2 million for a new fire truck. In Halifax County, Colter Anstett, 10 News, working for you.
Volvo Trucks in Pulaski County is known for laying off employees by the hundreds, but a new land acquisition will help increase production for the plant. 10 News reporter Arisha Jones joins us now live from the Volvo Trucks plant in Dublin. So Arisha, how is everyone working together so the plant can continue moving in a positive direction?
Well, Lindsay, Pulaski County says they're going to do everything they can to keep investing in Volvo trucks. And right now, all they see is growth ahead for the company. After acquiring 49 acres from the county, Volvo Trucks says they will use the extra land so buyers can test out the trucks on the customer experience track. This will also continue to allow them to grow with more space and create more jobs. Just this week, Volvo held several recruiting events to hire more people, and the county says everyone in the region will see a benefit from this.
This is Pulaski County's largest private employer and the region's largest private employer, one of the Commonwealth's largest as well. And again, it has that multiplier effect where so many other jobs are tied to Volvo.
Volvo is also leasing 221 acres with the option to buy the property in the future under a lease option agreement. On 10 News at 6, hear from the plant manager on how this land will help to make the company more competitive. Live in Dublin, Arisha Jones, 10 News, working for you.
All right, let's turn now to your forecast. I'll call this another above average day. Temperatures in the mid-50s for what we can expect tonight. We want to check in with Storm Team 10 meteorologist Beverly Perry. Every day that we have a nice day is one day closer to spring when we get a lot of them.
Isn't that the truth? Today felt like spring. Tomorrow, maybe not. It's going to be feeling like winter, but overall, We do have some warmth in sight. So we're looking at a few spotty showers out there right now. Along 81 near Wytheville, you're seeing some light shower activity moving into Radford as well. These are going to be very quick and brief rain showers that you see this evening. A lot of it will be tapering off by about 8, 9 o'clock this later on this evening. Martinsville seeing the light shower roll through, and even near Danville too. Temperatures, as mentioned, rather mild. 52 in Roanoke, Smith Mountain Lake, and even in Lynchburg, feeling like 50 in Martinsville. Temperatures will slowly be on the downward trend of things as we progress into the night. The cloud cover does finally fade away. We are actually going to see some sunshine tomorrow. I'll have a detailed forecast out for you in just a few minutes, and also what to expect for the holiday weekend.
All right, thank you, Beverly. Well, Liberty University is preparing for its 15th annual Winterfest event. Attendees can expect to ring in the new year with big name bands like Switchfoot, inspirational speakers and comedians like John Christ during New Year's Eve weekend. Organizers say they're prepared to cater to about 7,000 people, with hotels surrounding the university booked and ready to accommodate.
You don't want to miss it. I mean, we're talking about people who, yeah, you might have to drive to D.C., you might have to drive to Charlotte to come see, or they're coming right here to your very own backyard. We'd love to pack this place out.
For more information on Winterfest and how you can buy tickets, you can head to our website, WSLS.com.
10 News time saver traffic now. Congestion causing delays on Interstate 81 North near mile marker 147. That's in Roanoke County. About a 2-mile backup right now.
And Storm Team 10 meteorologist Beverly Perry will have another check of your forecast. That's coming up after the break.
And here's a look at how stocks of local interest finished the day on Wall Street.
Closed cap.
If you're about to step out the door this evening for any holiday parties or even for dinner, temperatures are actually on the mild side of things, sitting at 52 degrees for many locations. Lynchburg, Danville, even Roanoke coming in at 52 degrees. 49 though in Blacksburg and 47 in Hillsville. And you may want that light jacket because you will be dealing with some spotty shower activity, and that's what we're seeing right near Danville and even near Martinsville. And in South Boston, it is going to be moving towards you because this is moving in more of an easterly fashion, just on the lighter side of things, and some sprinkle activity. Also seeing that activity along I-81 near Wytheville, going to be moving in there also in Radford. It's on the eastern or western fringe rather, tracking to the east, so definitely going to see that shower activity moving into Radford here in the next few minutes. All this is due in part by an area low pressure that is actually situated near Tennessee. The bulk of the activity you notice is off towards the eastern seaboard. Still seeing a few showers working across Tennessee and even into North Carolina and Virginia state line, and that's where we're going to see most of that activity focused towards, and especially as we progress into these evening hours. Notice by about 8 o'clock, a lot of that activity will be winding down, still keeping the clouds around through the 8 o'clock hour. By the time 11 o'clock rolls around, a lot of the clouds will be fading away. Notice it's going to actually be from north to south as an area high pressure starts to build back in as we progress into tonight. Since we're clearing everything out tonight, it's actually going to be a bit of a chilly one for us. Overnight lows are actually expected to fall near freezing tonight thanks to those clear skies. Going to be feeling like 33 Roanoke, 31 in Martinsville, and 32 tonight in Blacksburg. So once you wake up Thursday morning, you want to dress for those colder temperatures. We will actually have plenty of sunshine throughout the day on Thursday thanks to that area high pressure. Temperature-wise, we're not going to really be recovering a whole lot. Highs are expected to be in the mid to upper 40s by the time Thursday afternoon rolls around. More of a light breeze in the afternoon as well. The clouds really don't start to roll back into the area until on Friday rather. So this is what you can expect throughout the day on Thursday. A chilly start. Midday temperatures should be in the mid 40s and highs mid to upper 40s towards the end of the day. But I alluded to some changes. This high pressure does slip away late in the day on Thursday. By the time Friday rolls around, we're watching an area low pressure that's coming out of the Central Plains, going to bring us around a precipitation. In all actuality, we kind of need the rain. Check this out. This is the latest drought monitor. Another new one will be coming out come Thursday morning. But check it out. In this tan-colored area, some moderate drought, including Danville and South Boston. Dry conditions encompasses a good portion of the viewing area, including Blacksburg, Roanoke, and even Lexington and Lynchburg. So we actually do need the precipitation. First day of winter starts Thursday morning. We're looking at highs for Thursday afternoon right near 48 degrees. Mid-50s on the way for Friday. Some shower activity does roll in late in the day. We're talking late afternoon, early evening. Notice our temperatures. They're on the upward trend of things. By the weekend, we're looking at the 60s. We get a rush of warm air before that system actually rolls through the area. Temperatures in the 60s, but we do have some shower activity on Saturday. And then mid-40s on the way for Sunday. And it's looking dry overall for Sunday. Just a few light snow showers for the mountains.
60 degrees on Saturday.
Yes, a very good punch of warm air before we actually cool down quite a bit.
Yeah.
All right.
More seasonal then.
Yeah. Well, we need it to be seasonal.
Thank you, Beverly. This is an interesting story. A birth more than 24 years in the making. How a couple from Tennessee was finally able to have a child of their own thanks to a complete stranger. A couple from Tennessee has welcomed a baby girl who grew from the longest frozen embryo to ever result in a birth.
This is how do they do this?
It's so interesting.
It really
thought-provoking.
It's an amazing story. There's all kinds of places you could go with this, but reporter Madison Wade shares the incredible story for this couple.
Yep, month-old on Christmas.
She's their pride and joy.
Best Christmas gift ever.
Little Emma Wren will have a miracle story to tell one day.
People say, oh, well, it's science. No, I think it's just purely the Lord. Like, this is a gift from the Lord for sure.
Tina and Benjamin Gibson never thought they would be able to have kids.
We just started praying about it, and gosh, we prayed and prayed and prayed.
They considered adoption. They fostered for about a year until they realized they could take a chance at having a family at the National Embryo Donation Center in Knoxville.
Honestly, you know, we didn't know if it would even work.
After an appointment in January, Tina went through with a frozen embryo transfer in March. She remembers time stood still, waiting for those results.
The longest 11 days of our lives.
When she found out she was pregnant,
I just couldn't believe it, that I was carrying a baby.
Tina thought that was the miracle story in all this, until the doctors told her how long the embryo had been waiting for her.
Just so you know, this is going to be a world record. And I was like, what? And they were like, yeah, it's been frozen for 24 and a half years. I just stared at them. I was like, what? I was like, are you kidding?
Little Emma Wren was conceived in 1992, the same year Tina was born.
You know, we could have been best friends. And he was like, oh my gosh.
Emma Wren isn't alone. While her embryo may be the oldest, they've helped more than 600 families give birth through embryo donation.
To be involved and help build these families is the most rewarding work that you can do out there.
While it may have taken more than 24 years, Tina and Benjamin believe Emma Wren was always part of their plan.
It's just so special. You know, I just think that it shows, you know, that's just the kind of God that we serve, you know, that he would do something like that for us, you know, it's just precious.
Just precious, no doubt. All right, let's take a look at these vehicles right here. A warning tonight about certain Polaris recreational off-highway vehicles. What you need to know about the vehicles catching fire. That's ahead in a 10 News Consumer Alert. Honda says another person has been killed by a faulty Takata airbag. According to the automaker, the person died after crashing their 2004 Honda Civic back in July. Officials from Honda and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration inspected the car yesterday and confirmed the inflator had exploded, killing the driver. In a statement, Honda said the car's airbag was apparently salvaged from another vehicle, and the company says it is cooperating with the government as it investigates. This is the 20th worldwide death caused by the inflators.
The Consumer Product Safety Commission issues another warning about the danger of fires on certain Polaris ROVs. The warning surrounds Polaris RZR 900 and 1000 recreational off-highway vehicles from model years 2013 to 2017. Most were recalled by Polaris in April of 2016 to address fire hazards following the death of a teenager and 19 reports of injuries, including burns. But people who had recalled vehicles repaired continued to report fires. For information on how to report a fire or overheating related issues, head to our website, WSLS.com.
And giving back to those who put their lives on the line every day, why a toddler's good deed is going viral. A little boy's good deed for a group of firefighters is now going viral.
Reporter Cyan Rhodes explains how a 2-year-old boy left a lasting impact on a group of first responders.
It's the season of giving.
Merry Christmas!
And giving to others is something 2.5-year-old Dawson has already mastered.
My mother and him take cookies and stuff to the fire stations around here all the time.
But during shopping trips with Mom, he usually gets a little something.
I got $5.
As reward for good behavior.
I behaved.
Dawson picked out his treat, but then exchanged it for a few boxes of
Tic Tac.
He said, "No, can we give this to those guys?" And I'm like, "Dawson, quit, like, let's go home." And he said, "No, Mom, those guys." And I turned around and it was 4 or 5 firefighters and they were walking to check out. I started crying in the store.
I saw the little guy standing there and he handed us some Tic Tacs that he bought with his own money.
The guys from Richmond Fire Station number 1 were blown away.
It's pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, they were good. It was refreshing in the morning.
It shows a lot about his character and the kind of guy he's going to be.
Summer clicked some pics and posted to Facebook where word of his sweet gift went viral.
It's just who he is, and I hope that, you know, by sharing his story, I can give other people hope and their kids maybe would follow in his footsteps.
High five to fighters.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dawson.
He is so cute.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff you like to see go.
He looks like a
viral.
handful, though.
Well, he does.
Yeah, he does.
All right, that's all for 10 News at 5:30.
Your 90 Minutes of News continues right now.
We have a system pushing some rain showers into the region this evening. They've been more hit and miss across the area, seeing that shower activity just near Smith Mountain Lake, Withville, and even near the state line near Danville and Martinsville. Temperatures very mild, 47 in Blacksburg, coming in at 51 in Roanoke and 50 degrees in Danville. We get plenty of sunshine for tomorrow. Temperatures start off on the chilly side, but highs should be near 48 degrees. We have more warmth in our 70 forecast. Stay tuned for that. 10 News at 6 starts now.
Live from WSLS, this is 10 News at 6, working for you.
Paving the way for a possible expansion. We're live with a closer look at how the Volvo Trucks plant expansion will benefit the New River Valley. But first,
it's just an outpouring of love from people who love me and who love Stacy even without knowing her. You can see the love.
Spreading holiday cheer, the kind acts by strangers helping to continue one family's Christmas tradition. But first,
her vision continues on. And it's more than just not being forgotten. It's about her legacy and what she stood for.
a somber ceremony for the woman who died during a violent white nationalist rally. How people in Charlottesville are remembering Heather Heyer.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Lindsay Ward.
I'm John Carlin. The city of Charlottesville is honoring the woman who was killed in the Unite the Right rally back in August.
As we've reported, Heather Heyer died after a car plowed into a crowd of counter-protesters. 10 News reporter Jessica Jewell shows us how the city is now honoring her legacy.
Just over 4 months ago, Heather Heyer was killed while protesting against white supremacists on 4th Street Northeast. Today, dozens of her family members and friends gathered in the same spot to honor her memory.
This is where my little girl was taken away from me.
Now that stretch of road between Market and Water Streets has a new name, Heather Heyer Way.
It's an honor for the city to do this in my daughter's name.
Heather's parents are struggling with the loss.
1 foot in front of the other. I got the tree up. I didn't plug it in. I don't have any decorations on it, but it's up, and that was a big step for me.
But they say seeing Heather's name on this sign is a reminder that she died fighting for what she believed in.
I'm proud of how she died. I'm proud of why she died.
It's not just the sign. Messages are still written on the walls and flowers still line the streets. Signs of a city the mayor says is still healing.
This is a very raw and angry and frightened and traumatized community, and that work could take months or years to address, but you know, 1 step at a time.
He says over the last 4 months, they've made some progress by changing regulations and suing some of the groups that threatened his city that day, but they still have a long way to go.
What happened here, it was a very dark chapter, but we will become stronger and more full of light as a result of it.
Heather's former boss, Alfred Wilson, was among those at today's ceremony.
I'm sorry for being a loss for words.
He says this stretch of road, now named for Heather, is symbolic of who she was.
It connects two major streets in Charlottesville, Market Street and Water Street. That to me is Heather. Heather was that connection between two major races, between two major cultures. She was that connection, that bond that tried to make a difference.
And her loved ones say she will continue to make a difference.
What other legacy could a mother ever want for her child?
In Charlottesville, Jessica Jewell, 10 News, working for you.
Meanwhile, after several rounds of layoffs, Volvo's now investing more than $38 million in Pulaski County. As we've reported, the automaker acquired more land and entered into a new lease agreement. It's all part of a plan for expansion in the New River Valley. 10 News reporter Arisha Jones is live tonight. She's outside the plant with a closer look at how it'll benefit the area. Arisha?
Well, Volvo and county officials say they're excited to continue to grow the plant, which will have an effect on the entire region. Volvo Trucks in Dublin is adding acres to their property. Their customer experience track right now is only 1.1 mile long. The Board of Supervisors and the Pulaski County Industrial Development Authority purchased 270 acres. County Administrator Jonathan Sweet says that will allow them to partner with Volvo and give them 40 acres to extend their track.
And they're going to use that for testing purposes. They're also going to use it as part of their customer experience. They recently constructed a new customer center that overlooks the test track. So they're actually going to use that as a testing facility and a sales asset.
The plant manager for Volvo doesn't know how long the future track will extend with the new acres, but they're already thinking of ideas to put the land to good use.
It took 40 years for us to really go and expand as much as we have. So here, this is for us a great opportunity to say, well, the business is good, we're going up, we're hiring. This is the right time for us to plan for the long term.
2,600 people are employed at the plant with plans to hire more. With layoffs in the past, Sweet says this could also help to restore confidence back into the company.
No, we are confident that Volvo is here to stay, but not only here to stay, here to grow.
Volvo is also leasing about 220 acres for future needs in the company. Live in Dublin, Arisha Jones, 10 News, working for you.
The town manager of Boones Mill announces he's leaving his position. Matt Lawless says he will leave sometime in 2018 to be closer to family in the eastern part of the Commonwealth. Since taking office in June of 2015, Boones Mill has had multiple major economic announcements and welcomed several new businesses, including receiving a major grant to renovate a warehouse to become space for future businesses. Lawless says town council was very supportive in him giving enough notice to find a suitable replacement.
Boones Mill's made a lot of progress in the last couple of years. We have some really exciting momentum on our depot restoration, a new farmers market, small business development. We don't want to lose track of that. So having a stable transition is really important to us.
Lawless says he is exploring several opportunities but has not lined up another position yet.
A Liberty University professor is taking on a new task with the Department of Justice. President Donald Trump appointed Dr. Karen Harp to become the administrator of the Office of the Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. Harp says that she applied for the federal job back in August and says it's been an ongoing process. Harp has been an associate professor of law at LU for 6 years. She has a background in juvenile justice where she trained prosecutors and judges across the country. And she believes that her 20-plus years of experience have set her up for this new position.
I don't think we'll ever get a handle on the adult criminal population until we address the problems with our youth. And so if we do that, then we can prevent that flow into the criminal system. And that's what we'd like to do. So that's kind of always been at the heart of my passion.
Harp will have to leave Liberty University to take this job.
After being closed for 5 months, the post office in downtown Pulaski is open for business. The building closed in July due to safety concerns following an OSHA investigation into mold. People who live in the area had less than 24 hours notice that they would have to travel 7 miles to the nearest post office in Dublin. Customers using the post office for the first time today say they couldn't be happier.
Convenient, it was quick. I have not been to the post office in this area because I was not going to Dublin. I've been going to Giles County, so this was great to have it open and get my business done for the day.
You work in the area?
I do. I work in the area and I have avoided having to go into Dublin. I'd rather go back to Giles.
The newly remodeled post office will be open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and 9:30 a.m. to noon on Saturday. News about a possible future tax increase for capital improvement projects in Halifax County has some county residents concerned. One South Boston business owner and Halifax County native said he's not ready for a tax increase. The projects are what the county is considering doing in 3 to 5 years. The most expensive is a proposed $10 to $40 million renovation at the high school. There's also an ongoing discussion in the county about whether a brand new high school should be built instead. A local business owner says the county should do whatever's cheapest.
It does concern me that taxes could potentially go up. I think if you were to build a new school, I think that's going to cause your taxes to go up even more.
The county administrator says currently a 25% real estate tax increase would likely be the way the projects would be funded.
Well, a former WSLS children's show hostess has died. For years, Connie Grant was part of her husband's Cactus Joe show. The couple hosted the program during the 1950s and 60s. She was known as Sweetie on the air, and the Grants also used to take the Cactus Joe Choo Choo to Roanoke shopping centers to give children rides on the trackless train with miles of smiles. Joe Grant, you might remember, died back in 1989. Connie Grant just died yesterday. Lindsay, she was 98 years old.
Well, it's often the little things that really make the holiday season brighter. A family tradition of hanging up Christmas cards almost didn't happen for a local woman after her grandmother passed away.
But thanks to the kindness of strangers, she now has a filled mailbox every day. 10 News reporter Rachel Lucas has the story.
Not forgotten this Christmas season, it's Stacy Fulton's favorite time of day, when the postman leaves her a mailbox full of Christmas cards.
Merry Christmas, Stacy.
Receiving a handful every day, many from people Stacy's never met.
All these from Stacy's. That's all my names got. Stacy, Stacy, Stacy on them.
But they know her.
Stacy is a very special person, and having a mental challenge, it's really important that she realize how much love that she gets too.
It all started with a Facebook post by her cousin Elaine.
Stacy is my mentally challenged cousin for whom I am legal guardian. She does great. I'm just wondering if anyone would like to send her a Christmas card. She's seen them hung in doorways before with living with Grandma, and she has one lonely card hanging in her hall doorway. Oh yes, I'm gonna send her one. Would you?
Stacy's longtime guardian was her grandmother, who hung their Christmas cards every year. But after she passed, the cards dwindled. But Stacy continued the tradition, and Elaine wanted to help bring it back.
She would always hang the cards up all the way around the doorway. So whenever I saw that one little lonely card up there, then I thought, you know, she needs some more cards so it can be like it used to be.
Thanks to her post on social media, this year the cards have poured in.
I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas, Rhonda. And Rhonda goes to my church.
Elaine sits down every day and reads them with her.
Well, I'm getting a whole bunch of them, that's one thing.
Keeping the tradition going, we wanted to bring a whole bunch more. Signed by all of us here at 10 News.
We were really excited about it and heard that you were a very special person. So everyone from the station gave you Christmas cards this year.
Wow. A simple gift that reminds us all it's the love and the little things that Christmas is all about. In Roanoke, Rachel Lucas, 10 News, working for you.
The Virginia Transportation Museum prepares to say goodbye to a beloved Roanoker. How the executive director, Bev Fitzpatrick, says he feels about retiring.
My favorite.
After a lifetime of service, a well-known member of the Roanoke community is saying goodbye, at least professionally. As we've reported, Bev Fitzpatrick, the executive director of the Virginia Museum of Transportation, is retiring.
His last day on the job will be next Friday, and while the holiday season is a busy time for the museum, Fitzpatrick says he's excited about the change.
So it's a really unusual feeling. They'll be talking about something like, you know, we're going to have to get ready to get prepared for that, and I'm going, I'm not going to be there.
To honor his achievements and service, the museum is hosting a gala at the Hotel Roanoke. For more information, you can head to our website, WSLS.com, and we wish him all the best
Sure do.
in retirement.